Hey, welcome to Night Convos. It's Lovey here. Hubby is actually cooking supper right now, so it's just me in this one. Okay, I know a lot of you, if not all of you, have already heard about Gypsy and baby number 2. But just hang tight and listen because we are about to get into this as well. There are just some things we want to call out that are a little bit different. Also, are we really shocked that Gypsy wouldn't mind getting rid of certain embryos? If you don't know what we're talking about, we're about to get into what we mean, and we really want to know what all of you think about everything as well. We literally talked about this 6 months ago. If you haven't seen that video, we'll have it linked at the top of the description box of this video. Real quick, before we jump into everything, thank you so much to all of our channel members. We have a few more channel members now, and we truly appreciate every single one of you. And we are so thankful and grateful for all of our subscribers. We love and appreciate all of you. We honestly do. And we see that a lot of you hype our videos, and that helps us so much. So we truly appreciate all of you so very much. We appreciate the likes and the hypes and all of you joining in on the conversation. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. Make sure you hit the hype button as well, and we would greatly appreciate it so much, as well as y'all giving your feedback and letting us know y'all's thoughts in the comment section down below. 6 months ago when we mentioned this, because Gypsy and Ken were first talking about IVF at that point, Ken was saying that he wanted baby Aurora to have a sibling, and he wanted them to be about 2 years apart. And we were saying in our videos, in order for that to happen, Gypsy would have to get pregnant by December of this year. And even 6 months ago, we were saying she's nowhere near ready for that. Gypsy's not. And Ken really either, if you really think about it, and especially with as much as they break up. But anyway, she would have to get pregnant by December of this year in order for Aurora to have a sibling that's 2 years apart from her. After us posting several videos saying that Gypsy would have to get pregnant by December of this year, Ken and Gypsy happened to be on a live, and they were discussing this and getting asked questions about baby Aurora, and Gypsy told Ken, "You do realize I would have to get pregnant by December of this year because, there's 9 months of gestation time before I would give birth." So she had to explain that to him, which wonder where she heard that from. Not saying it was us. We just know she watches our videos. So she could have gotten it from us, but maybe not. But either way, apparently they decided against that, though, because they're not even doing IVF as of right now yet, as we'll see in just a second. Okay, speaking of IVF, like I was saying we did 6 months ago, do you really think Gypsy is ready for what all that entails? It's a lot. Is she ready to possibly have multiples? Because that can most certainly happen with IVF, in vitro fertilization. Several factors depend on how many embryos or babies, as I personally like to say, are transferred into the mother's uterus. A lot of times they do transfer more than one, because sadly a woman sometimes will miscarry one of them early on. This way the fertility specialist can still try to ensure a positive outcome and pregnancy, even if a woman miscarries one of the embryos. Is Gypsy ready for that, though? If that were to happen, because it doesn't sound like it according to what we're about to hear. she doesn't sound ready for possible multiples? Or do you think she would just abort the other one, even if it's healthy, to make sure she only has a single baby, a singleton? Because that can carry risks too, Gypsy. It could end up making a woman sadly lose both babies. There really is so much that goes into all of this, and we did a deep dive into this in our previous video that again will be linked at the top of the description box of this video. Okay, after hubby and I heard this or came across this TikTok, which we took just a short clip from, we thought that it could possibly be because Ken and Gypsy are starting IVF. But again, as we'll see in just a second, they're not actually starting IVF right now. But when we heard this for the first time, that's what we were thinking. But y'all let us know what y'all think the real reason is behind what we're about to listen to, along with everything else we're about to go over. Okay, take a listen to this little clip.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to reactivate my account. I'm not going to let them win. And both Ken and I are choosing to completely, like, get rid of any, and honestly just live a sober life, like never drink again.
Okay, so Gypsy was
So I said, you know what?
saying, I apologize. Okay, Gypsy was saying also in that live that her and Ken had gotten rid of any and all alcohol. We're wondering, could it be because Ken really went to rehab and he came back and possibly gave Gypsy an ultimatum and said, look, if you're going to continue to get wasted almost every night or get wasted and come in drunk and I'm going to have to deal with you and see you and it's going to be a trigger for me and all that, you know, I'm not going to be able to continue to be with you. You know, that's a no-go. You know, do y'all think that happened? Do y'all think it's because they really are starting IVF? Or do you think it could be because of other reasons? Now, like I was saying, also in the live that Gypsy's friend Renee, some people call her Renee over on TikTok, but I think it's Renee. She's very good friends with Gypsy and Bree and all of the minions. And that's who we got this clip from. But also in that live that Renee is playing, Gypsy was saying, right before she was saying that her and Ken chose to get rid of all alcohol and honestly live a sober life and never drink ever again and all of that. Gypsy said it was due to the worst things happening to her after parole, after getting off of parole. Her most worst moments ever came from her drinking. So, do y'all think that's the reason? Do you think it's IVF? Or do you think Ken really went to rehab and got help and came back and told Gypsy, hey, you either cut this out or I'm out? You know, or do y'all think it's something else? Let us know. Okay, hopping over to TikTok for just a second before we look at this article. Take a listen to this as just a little reminder for all of us again. Okay, this video is gonna play into what we're about to talk about, but this was posted over on TikTok by our friend Lottie3460. So if you don't follow her, you should follow her. And she has a YouTube channel as well, Lati, so you can follow her there as well. I mean, she posts more on TikTok, but she does post on YouTube as well.
Try and like not care, and I preach this to Ken all the time, because yesterday when I was at Heather's, you know, he calls me, he was on break from work, he calls me and he's like, you know, do you have Aurora's proof or the document, whatever, from the hospital that says that she doesn't have microdeletion. I was like, yeah, I have it in her file. I have it digital copy that I can go into the patient portal. I'm like, why? And he's like, part of me wants to post it. And I'm like, absolutely not. I am like, we don't owe these people anything. Number one, I'm not putting out our daughter's medical records.
Yeah, they already got yours, which they don't deserve.
I'm like, we're not doing that to her. And they'd say it's fake anyway. So I'm like, we'd be putting her business, out there. It's one thing to say, hey, she doesn't have it, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it, accept it. But to
be happy, like what the, like who?
They should be happy about that. Like a healthy baby. Be happy about a fucking healthy baby. Instead of being like, something's wrong with her. Nothing's wrong with her eyes. Nothing's wrong with her brain.
Y'all just don't deserve to see them.
Exactly. I'm trying to protect my child. It's as plain as simple as that. I'll show her hands, her feet, her little body, the back of her head, but I will not.
You show them too much because it's still not enough.
It's still not enough. They still think she's AI. I'm like, these people.
Or a baby doll with a charger in her ear.
Does look like a baby doll.
Jesus Christ.
So I just told them, no, we don't owe anybody anything. And we went to church last Sunday. And the pastor was like, and it hit so close to home. The pastor was like, do not let the critics win. You owe them nothing. And exactly what Heather was saying, the happier you are, the louder they get. And so I told Ken, I'm like, remember what we heard in church. Keep that in mind. And he's like, okay, all right, I'm calm. I'm like, okay, good. Be happy about a fucking healthy baby. Be happy about a fucking healthy baby.
Okay, we're not saying we're against this or for this. We understand a lot of people do it, and that's their choice, and that's fine. Hubby and I personally, we would just simply be happy about a healthy and happy baby. Y'all may have a different opinion though, and that's fine, but let us know. Of course we get that Gypsy wants to make sure that the next baby they have does not have the 1q21.1 microdeletion, which is what Gypsy has. As far as choosing the gender though, there are a lot of parents that would like to have a brother or sister specifically for their other child, but they get or accept what God gives them as far as everything else goes, like gender, eye, and hair color, amongst other things. Again, this is just us personally. We would, in Gypsy's words, just be happy about a healthy baby. We would leave the rest up to God. We wouldn't go trying to pick the gender. When you get into that, you can get into picking the eye color, hair color, and other features. Our friend Becca Scoops spoke a little bit on that in her video the other day, and I think she also shared her opinion on it, which could be different from ours or even yours. It's still odd to us, though, how Gypsy's belly seems to have gotten flatter in this picture versus the last picture I was just showing y'all. Not to mention, remember we posted that live of Gypsy saying that Lifetime took these pictures of her and Ken in the park doing a maternity, or not a maternity, but a baby announcement photo shoot. And in the live, Gypsy was saying that she was not actually pregnant yet. So the timing was off. And it was a little bit weird. You're telling us, Gypsy. Anyway. Okay, jumping over here to this article for just a second. It's a short article. Of course it's in People Magazine. Used to, People Magazine was like trustworthy and everything, but now they're covering Gypsy and they're defending Gypsy and defending her in their comment section. It's ridiculous, calling her famous, saying that she absolutely suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, all of that, and it's just ridiculous. But anyway, nonetheless, let's look at the article. Gypsy Rose Blanchard shares new details about baby number 2. Says she wants to give Aurora a little brother. The article starts by saying Blanchard shares her daughter Aurora, whom she welcomed earlier this year with boyfriend Ken Urker. She did not welcome baby Aurora earlier this year. People Magazine, get it together. Come on now. Seriously, she welcomed baby Aurora allegedly last December, which would be in 2024. A lot of us other folks think that she delivered in November of last year, 2024. But that's a whole nother discussion. It goes on to say Gypsy Rose Blanchard is almost ready to grow her family. Almost ready. Y'all hear that? The 34-year-old who welcomed her baby daughter Aurora this past winter with boyfriend Ken Urker is open to having another baby, telling People that she would love to give her little girl a baby brother. But her plans haven't been set in stone yet, and she'll have to do in vitro fertilization, or IVF, this time around. As of right now, we have not made any solidified plans. We hope to do IVF sometime in the near future, but right now, all our focus is on Aurora, Blanchard explains. As for IVF, it's a way to ensure that I do not pass on my genetic condition of microdeletion 1q21.1. Then People Magazine shows Gypsy's video that she posted to TikTok and Instagram of her morning routine as a mom. A lot of us had discussion about that in the comment section. We're still going back and talking to some of you in the comments on that video that we did where Gypsy was enjoying her cup of coffee on the swing outside, then going inside and taking care of baby Aurora and changing her diaper and getting her up out of the crib, all of that. But that's on our previous video. Then the article says, we are thankful Aurora tested negative, but can't take the risk for another child naturally, so IVF is our best option, and with it we can choose the gender. We would like to give Aurora a baby brother, she says to People. Although Blanchard and Urker have been thinking about adding another little one, the two aren't planning on getting pregnant in the next few months. Possibly the middle of next year, Blanchard says, of when they might have another baby. Sorry, I lost my place. Of when they might have another baby. That'll give us time to settle into these new changes. Ken has a new career field that he entered. Okay, I didn't know it was a new career field, but, hey, what have y'all heard anything about that? That was just a side note. Asking if y'all have heard anything about that. Okay, doing IVF to make sure that your child or your next child does not have the 1q21.1 microdeletion, is understandable. It's completely understandable. I think a lot of us would agree on that. But take a look at this. And yes, I did look in my medical books, and I also called a few coworkers, all of that, to kind of vet this a little further. A child can get a 1q21.1 microdeletion even if neither parent has it because of what's called a de novo, or new genetic mutation that occurs randomly during the formation of an egg or sperm or in the early stages of embryonic development. This spontaneous genetic error involves a small segment of DNA being deleted from one copy of chromosome 1, resulting in a new genetic variant that was not present in either parent. More than likely, that's how Gypsy ended up getting it, because Dee Dee tested negative for the microdeletion 1Q21.1, and so did Rod later on. And apparently Rod got tested again after Gypsy was released from prison for the microdeletion. He doesn't have it. So if he didn't have it and Dee Dee didn't have it, there's a possibility that this is how Gypsy ended up getting the microdeletion. There's also another way that I'm going to show y'all in just a second. So what happens during a de novo mutation? During the creation of eggs and sperm, errors can occur in the replication process, leading to a segment of DNA being accidentally lost from the chromosome. Embryonic development. The deletion can also happen in the early stages of a developing embryo after conception. The result would be the child is then born with this new genetic variant that was not present in either parent's genetic makeup. And then it has some key points listed right here that y'all can pause to read if you want to. Y'all can pause to read that. Now also take a look at this. The 1Q21.1 microdeletion could be inherited from another family member, even if the parents test negative for it, due to germline mosaicism, a rare phenomenon where a genetic change occurs in some of a parent's reproductive cells, either sperm or eggs, but not their body cells. While the majority of 1Q21.1 microdeletions occur de novo as a new event when parents test negative, the risk of inheritance is low but not zero because of this possibility. So Gypsy could have inherited the microdeletion from another family member who simply didn't have symptoms or didn't show symptoms or didn't show many symptoms, just had very mild symptoms of the microdeletion, like an aunt or uncle or a grandparent. She could have inherited it from one of those family members, since we know that Dee Dee and Rod both tested negative for the microdeletion. That could have also happened, or through de novo, as I was saying. And this here is saying the 1Q21.1 microdeletion could be inherited from another family member, such as a grandparent, aunt, or uncle, even if the parents do not have it. This can occur because the deletion can be inherited from an asymptomatic or mildly affected parent, meaning a parent might carry the genetic change without showing significant symptoms themselves. In these cases, the deletion occurred in that family member and then was passed down to the child. So keep that in mind as we look at the end of this article, but also keep in mind that even through IVF, and even if the doctor puts embryos into your uterus that are completely negative for the microdeletion, it could still happen, because just as we were just now looking at, it could happen in utero. It could also happen due to this phenomenon in the parent's reproductive cells, either the sperm or the eggs. Another thing to keep in mind with IVF is you are dealing with human error that could occur as well. So while they're trying to, even though the fertility specialists are trying to eliminate the embryos with the microdeletion, if there are any, it could still occur, even using IVF. And there's a little bit higher chance of that happening through human error or any of these other ways that we've already spoke about, and also because of Gypsy already having it herself. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. I hope it does. The thing is, Ken is okay with Gypsy choosing the gender as well, apparently. Why do you think that is? Wonder if he would be okay with her choosing features for the baby. Why do you think he's okay with it, though? Is it because he is scared to put his foot down or put his foot down too much with Gypsy and voice his own opinions? Especially when it comes to his as well as her child, Aurora, and any future children they may have? Because, Gypsy, you do know Aurora is Ken's child as well, right? If y'all have another one, they are Ken's children also. We know you tricked him and all, and he is dingy enough to stay with you after you doing that to him, and even apparently have another baby with you. But you saying that with IVF you can also pick the gender makes us wonder, what is Knurker, old Kenny Boy's opinion on that? What do y'all think about it? Do y'all happen to think Ken is staying with Gypsy and having another baby with her because he wanted another baby, but because he thinks he can't find another woman to give him a child in the time frame that he wants? Why would you want to bring another child into this world with someone who is, one, not ready, in our opinions, but let us know what y'all think, and two, with someone who took their own mom so easily and does not care, not one bit, which hubby and I will be discussing tomorrow in a video and on a live in the next few days, as well as some other things. Do you think Ken gets off on the fact that she took out her own mom? Listen, I know that seems crazy to say to us normal people. It really does. It just doesn't seem to be that far-fetched, though, for Gypsy and Ken. That's our opinions, though. Okay, going back to the end of this article here. It says, Blanchard says that while they're still adjusting to Urker's new schedule in his new career, I added that part. While they're still adjusting to Urker's new schedule, she doesn't want to add the pressure of having another new baby. I think we just want to have a little bit of an age gap, but not too big. I can handle a toddler and a newborn, but not a baby and a newborn, she adds. We did go as far as to have the pre-testing done and then put it on pause for a few months, continues Blanchard. Well, which is it, Gypsy? Is it a few months or is it the middle of next year, which is longer than a few months? That's like almost a year away. Being for real, if you're talking about the middle of next year, that's almost a year away. That's about 8 months away. If you're really talking about the middle of next year, you're talking about June of next year, the 6th month of the year, that would be about 8 months from now, so almost a year away. But she says we did go as far as to have the pre-testing done and then put it on pause for a few months. Okay, well, did you put it on pause for a few months or until the middle of next year? 8 months from now. At least 8 months from now. Anyway, pre-testing is pretty simple. They run blood work and analysis to let you know what your fertility looks like. So we got that information about it. So when we are ready, we can proceed. And it's wild because this article was written several days ago, but there's only 3 comments here. The first one says, why is people hiding comments? And they are, because there were more comments and now there's only 3. And that same person says, wow, people, you obviously don't understand. Everyone knows who she is now. Stop reporting on her. And then the third and last person says, ew. Or as hubby would say it, he would say, ew. Just playing around. Gypsy said at the end of the article that she can't handle a baby and a newborn, yet she can handle a baby and a toddler. Does that make sense to all of you? She does understand it only gets more challenging as a toddler can be more demanding, not easier, right? Do y'all agree? Surely Ken and his family don't still buy this sweet, baby-talking, innocent act anymore. Who knows, though? This narcissist, she definitely knows how to manipulate people who are willing to be manipulated by her and stay willfully ignorant. Let us know what you think, though. Why do you really think they stopped drinking? If you think they did, do y'all think Gypsy is truly prepared for IVF and what all comes with it? Also, if she just wants everyone to be happy about a effing healthy baby, as she said, why would she care to choose the gender? What are your thoughts on all of this as well as everything else we discussed in this video? Don't forget we will be putting the link to our deep dive video on Gypsy talking about wanting to do IVF and her microdeletion, and her talking about her mom at the top of the description box of this video for those of you who are interested and want to see it. And we truly hope that y'all enjoyed this video and didn't find it too boring and found it to be informative. And again, thank you so very much to all of our channel members. We are so grateful for every single one of you. We are so thankful for every single one of our subscribers. We truly love and appreciate every single one of you so much. Hubby and I both honestly mean that from the bottom of our hearts. We would not have a channel without y'all. So thank y'all so very much for being a subscriber, a channel member, hitting the like button, all of that, hyping our videos. Thank you so much for all of it. And if you're not already, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, sharing, that sounded like country as I don't know what, sharing, hitting the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. And please leave your thoughts and opinions about everything we talked about in this video in the comment section down below, and we would greatly appreciate it so much. We'll see y'all in the next one, and we hope y'all have a good night and God bless. Bye.